Well guys, I have a fun little story that I wanted to share today because I am super excited and super happy about something that happened last night. I wish I could have shown you in the moment, but it was so late. So this is what happened. Yesterday, after we got done working on these kitchen walls, we went out and took a bike ride as a family and we were just riding around the town. You see, I have a big cargo bike and Maverick rides in the back with me, so I carry him around. For context, this is my cargo bike and has a pretty good cargo box on it with seats for Maverick to sit in, but it's not exactly huge. Well, while we were riding, I looked down one of the side streets and I happened to see some wooden furniture sitting on the side of the road. Since I have a cargo bike, I thought, hey, I'll go look at that furniture, see what it is. Maybe there's some good wood in there that I can use, because sometimes people throw away furniture that might be junky, but maybe it has some nice usable wood or some hardware. So I just wanted to check it out. I thought it was drawers, like dresser drawers or something. I wasn't even sure what it was. So I ride up the road, and as soon as I got close enough to see what it was, I was in shock. I was like, no way. I had just stumbled upon something that I have been looking for years, and here somebody was throwing it away, and I couldn't believe it. Guys, check this out. Look at this old lawyer's bookshelf. This is a crazy find. You don't see these often, and you certainly don't see them on the side of the road often. I have wanted one of these bookshelves for so long. I mean years and years and years. But they're out of my budget. I mean, they're just typically always sold in the hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Really expensive. And this is in such great condition. I'm just blown away. I am so excited right now that I just had to share this with you. Now, you might not know what a lawyer's bookshelf is. That's what I know this as. But it's basically a modular, I guess we'll call it, bookshelf system with these glass doors to protect all their books and keep everything safe. What's really cool is that they lift up and they slide in like that so you can access it. I know it's a little squeaky, it's an old cabinet. So there it is. You get the glass protection to close in your shelves. You don't get dust and, whatever else. Let me close these up. Now this is a little wobbly just because of how it's sitting on the floor. I think there's something off on the bottom of it. No big deal. Now, I didn't know what this was at first because it was in pieces. Let me show you what's cool about this cabinet. It pops apart like this. Here's the top. And then each section comes off like this. So what you would do is you would order the sections that you need in different sizes. For example, we have a big one on the bottom. I put these together. Big one, and we have two medium ones, and this one's the smallest one. So when this was on the ground, I just saw all these pieces laying on the ground. Let me get it back together. Okay. So you can imagine it looked like drawers or just, pieces of furniture. I couldn't tell what it was. What a find. It has all the original brass hardware on the sides. All the metal is intact. It looks like all solid, probably oak. Looks like a solid oak cabinet. And this thing is old. I haven't researched it yet, but I know it's old. I can tell it's very old, over 100 years old, I would say. And you can even see it has all the original glass all these years later. And I can tell just by looking at it because this old glass has the ripply look to it. When the glass that's very old, it gets a slight waviness in the glass. Some people say it's from the settling over time where the glass actually settles. Or maybe it was just the old glass manufacturing techniques. I don't know. But you can tell it's old glass. Let me see if I can capture that. Now the glass is very dirty. The whole cabinet needs to be cleaned. Pay attention to the window reflection. See how it wobbles a little bit? You can see the waviness in the glass. See a little divot right there? So this is what it says. Looks like that's who made it. Smells like a nice cabinet. It smells nice and old. Looks like a shellac finish, if I had to guess. You can see those brass accents right there. Guys, I know it looks rough, but it's just dirty. If we clean this up, it's gonna look like new. It is in really good condition. There is a little bit of veneer lifting. You can see, honestly, it was probably in better shape. It looks like it got rained on. I bet it sat outside and got rained on one time just by looking at it. Because you can see the dust is kind of speckled and the veneer is kind of chipping up, but I think we can save that. So let me tell you the rest of the story. I saw this and I said, I have to have this. But here I am on my bike. And I have a cargo bike, but I wasn't expecting to bring home all of this. So I have to debate, do I come home and get the car? And what if I come back and it's gone? I don't know. It might not have been, but I didn't want to take the risk. So what we did was, we took each piece and we loaded it up on the back of my bicycle. And it was heavy and it was wobbly and it was pretty scary. And I couldn't ride the bike because it would have just tumbled off. So I had to walk the bike with all this bookshelf piled on the back of it. So here I am holding the handlebars and the shelf, and I had Maverick walking behind me, holding the shelf, and we just started walking home. We were so far from home, not super far, but far enough that it was not really practical. But I didn't know what to do, so I said, we'll try to do it. So we're walking and walking, and the sun is going down, and we're saying, we're going to run out of time here. So I said to my wife, you ride home ahead of me, get home and get the car, and you can come back, and we'll just walk as far as we can. So that's what happened. She rode home and got the car, and I'm telling you, by the time she got back to me, it was dark out. We had no more light left, and we're just sitting on the side of the road in the dark. We stopped walking because it was too dangerous. I don't want a car coming up the road and hitting me with my bike with all this wood piled on the back, so I'm just sitting there waiting. Felt like forever. And we loaded up the bookshelf and we made it home safely, so that was awesome. So here it is. I just wanted to share my roadside find. I just can't believe this, and now after all these years of searching and wanting one of these for my books, because I have old books, not a ton of old books, but I have a collection, and I always wanted one of these to store them in. But the problem is that I have nowhere in this house to put it. Somehow we have every space planned or used, and right here is kind of in the entry walkway. It could stay here, it's not really practical. So I finally got my dream bookshelf and I have no room for it. Hopefully we can squeeze it in somewhere because it is so cool to find one of these. So you can imagine how ridiculous it was with me walking down the road holding this pile of bookshelves on the back of this. They were kind of spanned over this box right here. It's pretty scary when you're walking down the road with this top-heavy bike with all this antique wood and glass sitting on the back here.
And I feel like it could have just slid off at any moment.
Yeah.
And been a disaster.
If you didn't ride home and get the car, it would have been a very, very long walk home. But anyway, that was our story. I thought it was such a cool find. I haven't done a ton of research on it yet. I know that it is a good and popular brand. They do sell pretty well. I'd love to see this unit when it's all cleaned up and fresh. I can't wait to just clean it all carefully and try to restore it the best I can. I'm not going to refinish it. It's not the kind of piece I want to refinish. I just want to restore it. I just want to, if
Clean it up, oil the squeaks out of it and
yeah,
make it not so scratchy when you open the front
but
things.
we'll leave probably most of the patina and just how it looks right now. Even the crackled veneer on the top, I probably won't touch because we don't need to do anything up there. If it becomes a problem where it really starts lifting, at that point I'll address it, but for now I'll probably just leave it. Now there is one disappointing factor in this whole thing, is that when I was looking at these bookshelves, it's supposed to have a base underneath it. And there are different styles of bases. Some have drawers, some have legs, and the base is missing. So it shouldn't be sitting straight on the floor like that. It should have something underneath there. Now the base wasn't with it, but I'm not going to complain because this is still an awesome find.
Yeah.
I could either keep an eye out and pick one up off eBay or something, or I might just try to build one myself. The construction is super simple, and I really believe I can make a nice little oak base that would interlock and work just the same, and it would serve our needs. So maybe in the future I'll get to that. I'll put it on the list of to do, which there are many, but just because you don't see us working on it doesn't mean we gave up on it. It's just we have a lot going on, but I'm just so happy. I wanted to share our story. I know this is a little bit different than our usual videos, but it was too cool to not to share. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And until next time, take care.
See ya.
There's no shots back here.